Hey, what's up guys? It's Josh, the Florida Kayak Camping Guy. Decided to do a last minute trip, overnight trip to the Tomoka Basin. I'm gonna do a kayaking trip here in later on this month with Nathan. We're gonna do a couple days on the Swanee River. So I decided to go get the paddles wet and the kayak wet and try not to get myself wet. And make sure everything's working as it should before we pack it up and do a couple-day trip. I like my gear, and I like making sure my gear works before I even do a trip, and it gives me an excuse to go out here and have a little fun. But I decided to bring you guys along with me for a little adventure. There's like a small craft advisory in effect right now, so that always makes things interesting. Got some pretty strong north wind for today and tomorrow, so at least half of the paddle will be pretty easy. The other half, maybe not so much. Brought the spray skirt just in case. I'll check back in on the water. Peace. I got in the water a little while ago. Why do I keep saying water like that? I got in the water a little while ago and coming up on the basin. Hopefully gonna find a nice little spot for camp tonight. Like a little din-din. Be a pretty good day. Weather's nice. I got no complaints. Boat's doing good, other than the seat. Got a little seat malfunction. Kind of doing the gangster lean in the kayak. Gonna have to fix it when I get to camp. It's a good idea to test your gear before you do an extended trip. And always carry zip ties. Coming up on a little spot I like to call Thief Island. Camping here some years ago with a buddy, and we went and took a little boat ride and came back to the campsite, and some of my stuff was missing. Ever since then, I named it Thief Island. And I got a rather large sized boat coming in, so I need to make landing here real quick. Get swamped in the shallow water. Just got up the boat at Thief Island, just in time for a little boat action. Show you guys around here. Thief Island. Looks like they trashed the place. What really bothers me is when people bring stuff out here and they start building crap. You know, bringing a bunch of trash and leaving it. Look, even got a little tree house. Ruining it for everybody. Keep an eye on the boat here. When I seen this guy coming along, I said, yeah, maybe I'll just get out. I had one wash away once. Be out there when that happens, if you can avoid it. I decided to pass on Thief Island. Looked a little trash from the last time I've been there. It really bothers me when people bring stuff out to these really cool places and then just leave it behind. Or even worse, they start building stuff like a wannabe tree house or some kind of little table. Really kind of irks me. So we're in search of something a little bit more pristine, maybe. Let's see what we find. Sun's starting to go down. A couple hours. Gotta make it to camp soon. Well, I'm on plan C now. Plan A, was Thief Island, and it didn't look too nice. Plan B was my usual spot, my favorite spot, the Cove, and I just pulled up there and thought I smelled campfire. I looked around real quick and there's people there, which has only happened twice. So now I'm heading to Plan C, which was way further than I planned on actually paddling today. But that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. Never know. Plan C might be better than Plan B and Plan A. So he's an adventure. Alright, just made it to camp. Had to go with Plan C, but Plan C is not looking too bad. I think I found where I might set up my tent here for the night. Nice little sandy spot, facing the wind. Hopefully the bugs will be minimal. And do a little walk through of the island here, make sure nobody's camping here like the last spot. Definitely got to watch for the prickly pear cactus out here. It's prevalent. I think before I take you for a tour of the island, I'm going to set up my tent though and put on real shoes because there's so many cactus. And these guys will light you up if you step on one. Doing a little bit of exploring here now that I got my tennis shoes on. Careful not to step on any critters or cactus. A little bit of both out here. Man, this would have been a nice little camp spot too right here. Yeah, freaking Plan C is not looking too bad. Oh look, we got a tree fort. A little tree fort action. Anybody home? Favorite thing to do when I get to the island is walk around, make sure nobody's calling it home, scope it out. I picked the north end of this island because the wind's coming out of the north and I figured it'd be less buggy later on tonight. A nice piece of firewood here. I always try to burn the stuff that's already laying on the ground and kill the vegetation. Little sandy beach to come up on, pull your kayak up at. It's always a bonus. Not getting out in the muck. Made it to camp, doing a little walkabout of the island. Found another decent little camping spot here. Kind of sheltered, a little low-lying, but I think it would work. Nice little sandy beach to pull up at. Give you guys a little tour. Really got to be careful of the cactus and the critters, but mostly the cactus. See these guys here? Yeah, don't step on them. Kind of a little path through here, I see. Kind of a high spot for one of these islands though. They're all pretty low-lying in this area. Pretty cool little spot though, minus all the cactus. Just gotta be careful when you're clomping around out here. You don't want to do it in flip-flops. Put your tennis shoes on. And yeah, watch for the snakes as always. Watch for the snakes. Got the camp set up over here. Super windy. Small craft advisory in effect, but there shouldn't be any bugs. I'd rather have a little bit of wind than a lot of bugs. Early in November, not sure how buggy it's going to be out here, but it can be pretty gnarly sometimes. Show you guys our view here. And I just got word from a buddy of mine. He said he might come out, do a last minute ditch trip, and meet me out here, so I might have company, which is always good. Not a bad deal for a Tuesday afternoon. One thing I like about this spot is the little white sandy beaches that are all along it. Kind of dig it. It always makes for soft camping. Sometimes hard to get your tent spikes to stay in place, but makes it easy getting out of the water when you got a nice little spot like this. And right there, people, is the Tomoka Basin. We're at the south end of it. Must have been a pretty gnarly storm that brought in some of this wood this far up, all the way over the bank. The debris field of hurricanes past. Everybody's dock on the Halifax. It breaks away. Just gets washed over and stuck in the weeds. Almost ready. Tonight's dinner is going to be a Mountain House chili mac with beef. One of my favorites. Although I did just order some new brands to try out some different stuff before I do the Swanee River. Getting a little bit burned out on the same 4 or 5 of these that I like. But I will say the longer that you go kayaking for, multiple day trips, by the 3rd day, these taste really good. Overnight trip, man, not so great. But a couple day trip, they start tasting real good. See how we're doing here. Oh yeah. Kind of windy, so we're improvising on the other side of the tent. I don't always cook right next to my tent, but when I do, it's windy. Yeah, just watch the sun go down, cook some din din, still letting it heat up in the bag. Good old cardboard food. And got to watch a pretty nice sunset. Wind's still blowing pretty good. I think my buddy Nate's still on his way here. Grabbed us a little bit of firewood for tonight. Just gonna kick back and relax now. Old Mountain House beef mac and cheese. It's definitely one of the better ones that they make, in my opinion. Always add a little bit of oil and some salt and pepper to them. Spices it up. Best thing to put in these are Fritos. Fritos are a game changer. I should have brought some. Instead, I stopped at the gas station and got 2 honey buns. A couple waters. One of my favorite things to do. Eat dinner and watch the sun go down, listen to the water. I might make a fire when Nate gets here. If and when. Looks like he'll be paddling in the dark. So turn on my spotlight for him to find me. I love kayak camping. I don't love dehydrated food, but it's definitely an easier option. No coolers, no mess. Usually can fit most of my trash back in this bag. Kind of serves 2 purposes. The longer you let these bad boys sit, the better they taste. If you can, like, a lot of times what I'll do is boil the water, dump it in there, and go find firewood or set up camp. In the meantime, so I'm doing 2 things at once. By the time I'm ready to relax, the food's ready to eat. You also gotta have a long spork. Getting down in the bottom of the bag. And I've used it as a mini pry bar in a pinch. Which reminds me, tomorrow before I leave, I got a pretty good paddle back against the wind tomorrow. I gotta fix my seat. No more gangster lean in the kayak for me. If you're not sitting right in the thing, might as well not even be doing it. That was crunchy, and it shouldn't have been. Super stoked. My buddy just showed up unexpectedly. Wasn't sure if he was gonna make it, and he made it right before the sun's going down all the way. What a beautiful sunset. I know you can't probably see him from here, but there he is, flashing the light. I've been blinking at him for the last 10 minutes. We got a Nathan on the horizon. There he is. We made it. Made it through the mighty north wind. We got a Nathan.
Coming in for the first one of the year.
Everybody, we got a Nathan. First trip of the year, eh?
That's right.
Hey, good morning, YouTube. Me and Nate made it through the night. Broke down camp a little bit ago. It's about 8:30. I slept like a baby last night. Sometimes you just get really solid sleep in your tent and sleeping pad, sleeping bag. And I haven't. This is my first trip of the season, and I just slept like a baby last night. It was so good. Almost didn't want to get up, but the sun was baking the tent. Which is kind of nice, because if you set your tent up where it's going to get sun in the morning, then at least semi dries your stuff out before you pack it in your yak. But woke up and that sun was beating in, and I was like, time to get up, time to roll. And we just had the time change, so Decided to get on the water early and make a run for it. Pretty stoked. First trip of the year. Making my way back to the takeout point. It's been a really nice paddle this morning. I left the south end of the islands and I'm coming up on the old high bridge here soon. I was afraid yesterday that there was going to be a tremendous amount of north wind, so the paddle back was going to be a struggle, but as it turns out the weather was wrong and it's been a nice paddle all the way back. Me and Nate got to hang out last night a little bit. He came out late and sat around the campfire, went over some logistics for our upcoming Swanee trip. We're gonna do a couple days on the Swanee, maybe 4 or 5 days. And definitely glad I came to get the gear dialed in because I found a couple things I'd like to work on before I spend 4 days in the kayak. Definitely stoked. It's a good trip. Nothing like a quick little overnight trip to reset the batteries. Good, bro?
Not at all.
You know how to swim?
Yeah, I know how to swim,
All right.
but buddy, it's like $30,000. It's not more damage. Especially that boat, bro. I'm not gonna make it. Help! Help! I gotta get up on land, man. Just take that rope.
All right, give me that rope.
I gotta get up on land. Help me, bro. Help me, bro.
Let me see your rope. Let me see your rope. Pull the boat with my kayak. Let me see your rope.
Oh no.
Hand it up, bro.
I gotta keep it off all this stuff. Going right.
I don't want to run you over, big dog. I got your rope. I think he's maybe got just enough on here.
He's coming, man. He's coming.
I'm trying to get his rope to something here. Oh, fuck, are you serious? Oh, come on, man. Oh, motherfucker. Oh, damn.
I ain't gonna hit nothing too hard.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You good? Yeah. Did something I didn't think I'd be doing. I got you.
So it was a bit of an interesting morning there. In case you couldn't figure out what was going on, because I didn't really explain it as it was happening, I just turned the GoPro on in case it was something gnarly. But that guy on the boat says, hey, and I'm right next to where I'm taking out at. He goes, hey, my anchor broke and I'm out of gas. Can I throw you this line? And will you paddle it over to shore and tie it to the picnic table or something, or whatever? And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. I start paddling it over, and the guy realizes his boat starts drifting a little bit more, and he freaks out and jumps in the water. And I was like, can you swim? And he's like, yeah, but well, yeah, he's like struggling and just started panicking. I think he could swim, but he just started panicking. And then I'm trying to paddle the line to shore to give it to somebody standing on the boat ramp, and he didn't tie the line to his boat. He just gave me a line, basically. I don't even know. I don't even know sometimes. It's just I felt really bad for the guy. Like, I wanted to help and I was willing to help, and yeah, it's just a crazy morning. I was literally like 5 feet from taking out my kayak, and then all that happened. So yeah, I don't know. A guy in a jet ski ended up taking him back to his boat, and it didn't hit anything. It didn't hit the bridge, luckily, but his boat was just drifting there, and a couple guys on jet skis ran him over to his boat so he could climb back on it. And I don't know, the guy's just drifting down the river. It's pretty sketchy. Hopefully he makes it okay. See you on the next adventure.